Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unfiltered Flow ELSC, the podcast dedicated to the progression of the fluid power and automation industries. I'm Meghann Cook. That's Alan Burdette. Today, it's our pleasure to welcome Mr. Tyler Merth to the show.
Thanks,
Tyler
happy to be
is
here.
an application engineer at AppSco. Hi, Tyler.
Hello, hello. Good to see you guys.
Nice to
Good
see
to
you.
see you, too. It's been a minute, huh?
It has been probably since your Lindy days.
Seems just like yesterday, Tyler.
It definitely does.
So, Tyler, why don't you tell us how you got into the industry?
Yeah, so started out right out of high school. Wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I ended up working with a temp agency, and they selected me with a mobile hydraulic cooler manufacturer by the name of Stack Incorporated. They manufactured the thermoflow coolers that are used in the liquid bulk transport industry. And started out just building their hydraulic coolers for them. From there, took an interest into really what they did. They helped teach me, and they brought me to trade shows about the products. So I got to see and get exposure to the industry, and really took a liking to it. So then I found a school that in my area, a Hennepin Technical College, that had a program for fluid power. Spent 2 years there and graduated a certified fluid power specialist. And from there, the company put me on their application and design team, and I've been doing that since.
So the
That's
the start of your sorry, Alan. The start of
No, go
your
ahead, Megan.
career was hands-on, right?
Yeah, building the stuff, turning wrenches.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, that's always good. And you were talking about Hennepin. I mean, that's got a great reputation. That's a good school. But when you come out of school and you get into the real world, there are some differences there, and everything's not as, I don't know, as pure as it is when you're sitting in the classroom. So what were your biggest surprises when you came out of Hennepin and got into the real world and started doing this stuff?
You're spot on. And really what it comes down to is numbers don't lie. The math is going to be the same, but the numbers won't lie. So in school, we had problems where we had to size componentry. So I need exactly a 3.528 cubic inch pump. You're not going to find that in the real world industry. So coming out of school and seeing, hey, I can't get this exact pump, you got to figure out ways to adapt your system to get that. So you're going to use a 3.5 cube pump instead of the 3.528 that your numbers tell you need. So really just working around and accommodating the actual products that are being made and out in the industry was a big thing to, hey, yeah, that is a thing. It's not something you're gonna find like that. So
Yeah, you're always gonna have to adapt a little bit. Yep.
mhm.
So would you say, Tyler, that part of it was the steepest learning curve, or what would you say, if that's not it, would have been the steepest learning curve?
So in my entire career, I've been designing systems. So even right out of school, it was designing. So I had to understand the applications I was working on. So the one of the things that was really got to get drilled into my head right away was you're going to be working on the same application, but your overall system is going to be completely different depending on what the customer actually requires. Customer A and B, they're doing the same thing. They're hauling crude oil, say. One customer, they just turn on their PTO and they start pumping. While the other customer B, they want to turn their PTO on, but they want to recirculate the hydraulic system. So you got to throw in a valve there. Same application, different outcome. So the what really had to get drilled in was I had to ask all the correct questions because same thing, but they're completely different.
When we start doing things like that, we always, especially early on, but except Megan, I mean, she was always just right on every time. So assuming that you did make some mistakes, Tyler, like most of us do, which of those mistakes did you learn the most from?
I mean, there's not really one that really sticks out in my mind, but the key takeaway that I'd always get from my mistakes was we're all human. Mistakes are going to happen. It's the way you combat those issues that you came across, the way you resolve them is what's really going to define you and help you grow as an engineer. I can't think of one exact mistake, but I've made many.
I think the big thing is to own it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then the resilience that comes from that, right? Because you know mistakes are going to happen. It certainly is how you handle them in the aftermath, certainly. So, double-sided question here. Who helped you most early on in your career, mentor or otherwise? And then secondly, how has that impacted your career to date?
So you know him, gentleman by the name of Joe Sonnentag. Gentleman had a wealth of knowledge, and I was with him for close to 15 years. Ever since I got my start, he was there. And I kind of just acted like a sponge with the guy. We'd always joke that he's got 150 years of experience and he's forgotten more than I know and will ever know. And just working with him throughout the years, we really got close, and he took me under his wing and was that mentor for me. Not just as a boss, but as friend, coworker that you do talk to on weekends. So grew a great relationship where we could just bounce ideas off of each other. And unfortunately, he decided his fun was up and he retired at the beginning of this year. So
What I heard.
I'm still going to probably give him a holler here and there when I need help. Uh, well, I'm going to let him enjoy his retirement, I think.
You know, he'd probably love that. And if I know
Think he
Joe, he's
would.
probably going to get bored
Yeah.
pretty
Oh,
quick.
yeah. That is for sure.
Yeah. What speaking of Joe and now that he's decided he's going to take it a little easier, what do you think is going to keep the work interesting for you as you go forward here, Tyler?
So I like to stay busy. I like working on the random cool systems. I like the troubleshooting, but most of all, I enjoy the people that I get to connect with. So, I mean, over the years, the relationships you build, it's nice being able to catch up. Like with you guys, haven't seen you in years. It's nice catching up with you. But keeping up with the systems and then the people, I enjoy learning new things as well. And the industry is always changing. So learning more about how electronics are going to take over the whole world. So you got to keep up with AI. You got to keep up with how the electronics are going to get implemented into all of our fluid power systems. They're already there, and they're only going to get even bigger and better.
That's true.
So
Yeah, we hear that consistently, Tyler. It's amazing how the industry's progressing at this point. What advice would you give a young engineer that's coming into the industry now?
ask questions. If you don't know something, someone you work with or a vendor, anybody, reach out to them. I mean, that's how you're going to learn. That's how you're going to keep up with the new products. You got to be confident with it and take every opportunity you get to learn something and try to retain that information. Attention to detail is another big thing you got to keep an eye on. Back to the mistakes. I've made many mistakes on schematics. I do with arrows not pointing the correct way. So that's just an easy thing to keep on your radar is the attention to that small stuff. Taking notes on your customers' requests. I mean, the excitement you get from customers if you nail their project out of the park is great. So definitely keep asking questions, keep up with the attention to detail, and just try to retain everything you can.
Yeah, that's the beautiful part about this industry too, I think. There's so many folks that have been in the industry for quite some time, and they really do enjoy talking to people and talking to younger engineers and answering questions. So I think there's a lot of mentorship available out there
Hmm.
and a lot of people that are open to discussing and talking to young engineers that way.
Yeah, I agree.
What skills, and we've talked about this a little bit, but outside of pure technical knowledge, what skills would you tell other engineers that they should focus on?
Main thing is get your hands dirty. I mean, I've worked with quite a few engineers that understand the manufacturing, but also the assembling of components. And if you can design the coolest, greatest thing, but if you go to build it and you didn't properly look, oh, I can't get a wrench in there, it's going to be an issue for you. So, I mean, if you work for a manufacturer, get out there and go build the thing that you're actually designing on a computer. Or if you're designing systems, get out there, do the install on a couple of these systems. And you get the added knowledge of seeing it in real world and you get the gratification of a job well done when it's up and running.
Yeah, it's a real problem when you design a system and then you figure out you can't change the oil filter unless you take the whole cab off.
Yeah, exactly. And try you got the perfect pump for the application and you go to install it and there's something in your way,
That's right.
on the vehicle or so whatever you're installing it and
Yeah.
stuff you don't see. So it's little things like that, but definitely get your hands dirty.
Yeah, it's real world then.
It is. And then getting out in front of the customers too, as you said, Tyler, building relationships with customers and that sort of thing. At the end of the day, it's still a people-focused industry, right? People
Exactly.
want
And
to talk
that's
to people. They want to build relationships. They want to know who they're working with, and it gives you an added advantage that way also.
correct. And that's one thing that has been told to me is that uh everybody in your company is a salesman. If you're talking to a customer, you're still a salesman because you're selling your company, you're selling your product, that kind of stuff, not just your title. I mean, your title might be engineer, but you're still representing your company. You're a salesman.
Yeah, a
So
lot of people
definitely
forget
know
that.
how to talk to people for sure.
Hey, Tyler, it's been a pleasure. Good
Yeah.
to see your face.
You guys as well. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on, talking to us. This is going to be good. We want to, talk to some of you younger engineers out there and see what drives you and what you need and what you're interested in. I think that goes a long way in assisting companies and understanding the culture and the mentorship and the leadership needed to engage younger engineers. So, really appreciate it.
Of course.
Thanks, Tyler.
Yep. We'll talk to you guys